Hello, everybody. My name is Teziah Howard, and I'm a sports journalism major and senior at Youngstown State University, who also runs track. I think through my career, the best coaching and advisory that I've been given through my sports career, especially, was to just be myself and have confidence because when you go out and into the real world, you really only have yourself, and there's a lot of people in the world that aren't worried about what you're doing. So if you're going to be the only one worried about what you're doing, that's going to be the biggest impact you have on your life because at the end of the day, no one's coming to save you. So it's really impactful for you to, reconcile with yourself and make sure that you show up for yourself every single day, first and foremost. To make me a better track runner, my training regimen is all about consistency, especially with being a long sprinter. You want to make sure you're having the perfect amount of, well, perfect doesn't exist, but you want to make sure you're having a good amount of speed endurance days, a good amount of power days, speed days. So, usually we're on a 4-day training split because we have a meet on the weekend or we're off on one day. So, we're powering through these workouts on strength days, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have our speed days, obviously competition on the weekends. So you just want to make sure that you're having a good balance of how you're reacting with your body and how you're adapting with the power, the speed, and then obviously the recovery, the nutrition, because that's more important than getting faster or getting stronger, getting bigger, because that is how you get bigger, faster, stronger. Making sure you're getting a amount of protein in, especially for a track athlete, getting the carbs in, getting the greens in. So making all of it come together collectively is most important for a track athlete and any athlete. I think one of the most specific things that we focus on nutrition-wise and, nitty-gritty training-wise is making sure that we're getting our mechanics down. So, the arm swing, because running is a science, sprinting is definitely art. So there's a lot of things that go into it. So you don't want to make sure that you're just sprinting your fastest, but how you sprint your fastest. And how you sprint your fastest is making sure that you're getting your knee drive up, you're getting your through the toes, you're pushing through, and there are a lot of different phases of this. This can look a lot of different ways, from a sprinter who's 5'8" to a sprinter who's 6'2". So, whatever works within the best of your capability with your mechanics and with your running form is going to be most important. And that goes to say the same thing for someone's body, because everybody's body is different. So they're going to react off of different stimulus we put it under. So the different carbs we put in, the different proteins we put in. For me personally, I eat more than the average because I have not a lot of body fat, but I do have a lot of muscle. So I want to make sure that I'm providing my body with a lot of carbs, a lot of greens that I'm able to utilize when I'm lifting or when I'm working out. The challenges I've faced from this D1 journey has definitely been a lot to deal with, but I'm here anyway, and I've had to deal with a lot of injuries. I've had to deal with a lot of setback, and those injuries provided me with a lot to go into, especially to the future. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing the best within my capability to recover and to not be injured anymore. But an athlete can't always think like that because injuries are going to happen and those things are going to happen. So you got to realize how you're going to dive into a different path and how you're going to take a diversion. And once that does happen, you want to make sure that you're trying to do all the things possible to get you back to where you should be or where you could be. And a lot of the times it's going to be taking a bet on yourself. A lot of the times it's going to be, can I really do this? And then you just doing something spontaneous, or you taking that risk. And I think that's most important because as an athlete from Baltimore, Maryland, as an athlete that was from a D2 school, I didn't really think that this D1 journey would happen. But then again, I took a bet on myself and I was able to make it happen. What led me to Youngstown State was making sure that I was able to make my parents proud. And that was first and foremost as an athlete going into college. I wanted to be able to make myself proud, which I did. I checked that off the box. And the next thing was make my parents proud, because all throughout sports, they would tell me they're proud of me. But as a kid, sometimes, you might not think that that means a lot. But then when you get older, you realize that, as an offspring and you're really making your parents proud, you want to do everything possible to keep making them proud. So I wanted to raise the bar every single time. And as a kid, scoring a touchdown when I was 7 years old, of course, that will make my parents proud. But getting a D2 scholarship and then going Division I, that's gonna raise the bar, and that's gonna set the roof on fire. So I just wanted to keep that going and really, like I said, take a bet on myself because, my parents believed in me through my entire years of sports, my entire years of academic achievements. So I just wanted to keep the journey going, keep the domino effect going. If I achieved one thing, I wanted to achieve another, raise the bar, work even harder to show them, to show myself, to show my family that I was really capable of, raising the bar every single time. My transition from a D2 Millersville University to a D1 Youngstown State was simply for myself. I know a lot of things I said were for my family, for my parents, but this one was fully on my breakthrough because I needed the transition to be able to put myself in a better mental state. I really wasn't in a good mental state at my old school, and I really wasn't doing what I wanted to do. And I could see my future being impacted by that. So I wanted to live in the present as much as possible and target every single day with how to get better for tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised, but if I did wake up, I wanted to make sure that I was waking up with a smile on my face and able to attack the day with the best possible outcome for that day to end, because not everybody knows when it does end. So I wanted to make sure I was going to end on a highest note. Sometimes you don't always end on a high note, but if I was ending on a low note, I wanted to make sure it was the highest of those low notes. So playing football and being around some of the teammates that I was around, I needed to have a fresh new start, I believe. And as a freshman, as a sophomore in college, I didn't know if that was going to be the best idea for me to finish my schooling there and continue to do what I was doing there. So I feel like I needed a fresh new start, a clean canvas to paint on, and that's exactly what I did when I came to Youngstown. Never been to Ohio before, never been to Youngstown before, and it was just, a shot in the dark, but now the dark has been brightened up. I chose Youngstown State because ever since I've been here, I've only been thinking about the opportunities that I didn't get a chance to do at my old school or at another school like that. And for someone like me, I don't even need to think like that because I want to live in the moment and I don't need to revert back to the past to compare and contrast. I mean, obviously, that's a huge aspect of life, comparing and contrasting so you can better yourself. But being at Youngstown State gave me a huge opportunity, and it was really a community-based outlet, and it still is, and it hasn't changed, and I don't think it will change, whether it's academics or athletics. And I originally came here off of the academics to be a sports journalism major, to really, to target down on really what I wanted to do. And it gave me the opportunity to work with like-minded people like me who are out there, who wanted to get their hands dirty in the field, who wanted to work around with cameras, who wanted to be in front of cameras, speak in front of cameras, speak to individuals, go and do student-led things, student-led organizations, student-led activities. And that's exactly what I've been a part of. And then athletics on that side, there's a lot of people that are here that, they get All-American every single year, and they're going to NCAA regionals, and they're doing the best capability of them. Some people don't even live in this country. Some people are from other countries. But when they come to Youngstown State, it seems like they already fit into a community-based outlet that this school possesses. And some people might look at YSU like, they're the Penguins, they're not about business, but that's really all it's been since I've been here. It's been all about business. I think the one thing I picked up, the message here is to really know why you came here. And obviously that's cliche, and obviously that's, something that's gone around in marketing and stuff, know your why, but it really takes into effect when you're talking about athletics, because there's a lot of team-based activities. Obviously, sports is a team-based element, but in track and field, you're also learning about your self-personal communication. So that interpersonal communication is going to be really important for you specifically, because if you don't know why you came here, if you don't know why you show up to practice, if you don't know why you get your body right, then you wouldn't be at Youngstown State and you wouldn't be a Division I athlete. I balance academics and athletics because I love the aspect of sports journalism compared with my D1 athlete, and I really feel like I can combine those two to create a better lifestyle for myself. Track and field is only a part of me, but this academics, this is a career thing. This is something that will always be within me, and track and field as well. So if I can make those two things piggyback off of each other and impact each other, I feel like it's going to be really beneficial. So if I bring my camera to practice, I'll know that I'm still practicing, but I'll also know I'm getting content for myself, content for social media, and content for my career. My advice to athletes trying to grow their personal brand is to simply be yourself. There are 8 billion people on the planet, but no one is you. So if you're trying to act like someone else, or if you're trying to follow a trend, that's just going to lead you to be like everybody else, and that can lead you to be someone that someone has already seen. You have already a special skill within yourself to be yourself, because no one else can do that. So if you're trying to gain the best skill possible on social media, it's only going to be being yourself and being authentic. That's what social media pushes out, being yourself, being authentic, because that's what not everybody can do. So my fitness page has really turned into just a me page. And I first started off on fitness because people saw my physique and people saw the sports I played and they wanted tips from me. And I felt like I was able to give them based off of, what I've done myself, and everything that I've done has been based off of personal experience. So if it worked for me, I'm sure that it can work for another person, and it has, and it's built me to have over 100,000 followers on TikTok and over 50,000 on Instagram. So I really stress that community-based outlet as well as Youngstown State. And I said stress that community-based outlet. I feel like it was the same with me personally. And I feel like there was a lot of false advertisement on social media to begin with, and a lot of people that are being badly influenced or negatively impacted by what people are saying, and they might believe them instantly, and then they get told the wrong information. So for me personally, I wanted to make sure that if I was able to lend a hand to someone who's 800 miles away or 1,000 miles away just through the use of a screen or the use of an 8-second video, I'm going to take that chance 10 out of 10 times. Being able to be a role model on social media has been the biggest impact on my life. And I know that there are hundreds of athletes out there, hundreds of anyone out there that, they might see a video and they're inspired by it, and then they start a new journey, and then they fall in love with it, and then they become another me, or they become, another version of me, which is, being confident in yourself that you can help someone, or being confident in yourself that you can do something that no one could have thought you've done. Because if they're not you, then they don't have any jurisdiction over your life. So if you're trying to do something that you don't think is possible, and then you put your foot in the door, or you knock on the door and that door swings wide open, you're just going to create a whole entire house out of that. And then you're going to live within that house, and you're going to be more confident every single day. You're going to look to strive for something that you didn't think you could achieve, and now it's your lifestyle. So it's been a blessing to be able to have a social media presence that's really community based, that's really inspired, that's really impacted by, everything that I post, whether it's nutrition content or fitness content, just being able to lend a hand to that someone who might need it. The last piece of advice I would give for any athlete out there, for any young person out there, is in a world where you can be anything, just be yourself. There are so many places to go. There are so many people to be, but you don't have to go any of those places if it's not going to be being yourself. You don't have to be any of those people or being a figment of your imagination. All you have to do is be where your feet are, because where your feet are is where you are going to be and who you are going to be. My name is Teziah Howard. I'm a senior track athlete at Youngstown State University, and I also go by King Taziki on social media.